Welcome back. It's episode ocho of
Foes.
the NextGen Playbook podcast. I am your host, Charlie, along with my charismatic yet humble co-host, Reed, and we are back. We're excited to bring you another episode.
We're
It's been a little
back.
while.
A little bit.
Not too long, but we're ready to get back, and we've got a lot of sports to talk about. It's a great, I always say October is the best month if you're an American sports
Best
fan.
month.
Best month for American sports because you've got basketball starting back up. You've got the MLB heating up. You've got the NFL in full spring, college football. Everything's going except for some college athletics.
You forgot one there, buddy.
And hockey too.
Sure.
So
Canada's game. America runs it.
speaking of October, probably the most important month for baseball, the MLB playoffs have kicked off, and it's been an interesting start, to say the least.
Yeah. Charlie and I aren't so happy. We have our Mike Foltynewicz shrine in the
As you can
background
see, there's not a single current Braves batter in our shrine.
because they were the
There's
issue, except for like Austin
there's Andrew
Riley.
Jones, but no other people.
Yeah. Besides Austin Riley was the only reason we had a shot.
Darnell had some, but he had some good pieces. But
Yeah, he did. It was bad, but let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about the wild card. Let's talk about that first series between the Rangers and the Rays. First games of that of the wild
honestly,
card.
this entire playoffs has been kind of disappointing.
On God, like
There
genuinely
like
bad.
there hasn't been really very many good games at all.
Really.
So hopefully the ALCS and the NLCS and along with the World Series here will heat up a little bit. But a lot of blowouts, a lot of sweeps. I mean, in what's it called? In the only one team that lost a series won a game. Everyone else just got swept fully. And I think
In the wild card, or are you talking about
no,
like
and
in
then
the NLDS?
yeah,
Yeah,
and ALDS.
they have to be better games, man.
Yeah.
It's not
So
fun.
speaking of, this like non-competitiveness, Reed has a little thing he's been waiting to say for that's it like Thursday. Right?
I've been waiting to say this one since Thursday. Yeah. The MLB needs to change their playoff format again. This is terrible. The last 2 years in the National League, the top two seeds have got knocked out in the division series. This is unbelievable. And it was 2 years in a row to division rivals, which playing your division rival is always a lot tougher. Like, it's not easy because remember the Dodgers last year lost to the Padres, Braves lost to the Phillies, and then again this year, and then the Dodgers lost to the Diamondbacks. It's not easy playing your division rival, and then you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. But something's got to change because they cannot keep having their two top dogs getting
Get
knocked
knocked out
out.
every year.
I don't know if it's the time off they have between the end of the season and then the wild card round happening and then the start of the division series or what it is. But this is kind of a National League problem too. It's weird. Like the Astros haven't struggled with this. I don't remember who the two seed was. I don't remember who it
Last
was
year it
last
was
year.
the Yankees and the Stros,
And the Yankees won their division series
but
last
it
year.
did go down.
It did go to five. It did go to 5 games, yes. And then the Orioles did get swept,
But
but
I don't think anyone really expected them to go super deep, especially because they're not super experienced in this field of the season.
yeah, the Rangers just raked, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what they need to do. Maybe adapt, like a more NFL format where like the top team will play the lowest remaining seed after the wild card round.
Yeah, because the format is also just kind of dumb because the 2 seed could play either the lowest ranked team coming out of the wild card or the highest ranked team. Meanwhile, in the NFL, the one gets
The one gets the worst team, which
yeah.
not really a worst team. Oh my. But I mean, I don't know, man.
So what do you say? Pick up the NFL format?
I'd say so. I don't know.
You can't really win though. That's the issue.
Make every team go to a wild card round.
Maybe make it like the
No, because
NBA.
you just can't. Yeah, just you can't have breaks like that. Or you could adopt a play in for like teams like a one game, like a game 163.
But then here's my issue with a game 163. You play 162 games in a season.
And
you
then
accumulate
yeah.
85, 90. Heck, we've seen teams with 95 to 100 wins in a wild card series with the Dodgers against the Cardinals a couple years ago. And your season comes down to one game.
That's
Everything you
true.
worked for.
But that's also what the old wild card was, to be fair.
And that's why they moved away from that format because teams would just like not get off to a good start, or like it also a lot of the games weren't very good either.
Yeah, there were
It
some
was there
pretty
was a, there
bummer
was
wild
some
card
there's a lot of
games.
stinkers. I mean, we didn't really see a really good one. I mean, the best one I can think of is the Braves Cardinals game, but game ended in controversy 10 years ago.
Oh, that was Chipper's final game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the infamous infield fly. Um, I mean, there have been a couple good ones. Like that Cardinals Dodgers one, I think was
Oh
fine.
yeah, definitely.
Chris Taylor hitting the walk off against Alex Reyes. I'm trying my best, man. Trying my best.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better with this. I'm very proud of Reed, but I don't know if there's any way you can win. But at the same time, a week's worth of rest doesn't help. But at the same time, the Braves were not playing good baseball.
They
Before,
got sloppy at the end of the stretch, like
yeah,
especially
definitely.
when they clinched, like, well, when after they clinched the division, actually, after they clinched the playoffs, it got really sloppy, and
Mm-hmm.
then they got the division, and then they got home field, but it was not pretty, like the
Mm-hmm.
way they were playing. And oh well, but then that break, like sure they had those like practices and stuff, but I mean the Phillies pitching
But
staff was
I
unreal.
feel like that should help you in the long run. Especially when you're not playing great
A,
ball.
a break,
Yeah.
yeah, but baseball is a crazy
And
sport.
also, it's a lot about getting hot at the right time. I mean, Braves in 2021, they got hot at the perfect time near the end of the
The
season.
Phillies got hot at the right time. The
In 2022,
Phillies and Diamondbacks are getting hot right now. The Rangers are steaming right now.
mhm,
I mean, it's just baseball, man. I don't think there really is a true like way to fix it.
no one's going to be happy.
No, at the end of the day, there's an issue, but I guess that's just maybe make the division series 7 games. Maybe.
Really?
I don't know, man.
Then you're really digging into October.
And then November, that's true.
Or sorry, November. Yeah.
Especially because with this 3 game wild card series, the World Series is already going into November. So I guess you have a point. We'll see how it plays out this year. We'll see
Mhm,
if the Astros win or it'll be a wild card team. It's either the Astros or a wild card team that win it. So it'll be interesting to see.
mhm.
Speaking of, well, the Houston Astros, they play game 1 of the American League Championship Series tonight in Houston. What are you thinking about this championship series, the All Texas
I'm excited. I like
series?
both these teams a lot. I mean, we saw how competitive a battle it was between these two teams to win the division, and it came down to a interesting finale on game 162. So I'm excited. I think both series are going to do pretty well. I think this Rangers team is really good. The pitching is incredibly important in this part of the season. And although the Stros are dealing with some injuries and some inconsistency, I mean, Scherzer and now of course they're going out for the season. Scherzer has been dealing with a lot of injuries ever since he got here. It'll be interesting. I say probably Houston in 6.
I That's funny. I was saying the same thing. I'm gonna differ a little bit. I'm gonna say Houston in 7, just because the only issue with that Rangers pitching staff is that bullpen. And obviously the bullpen is the way you win a series,
Hmm.
especially when you go deep into a series, because those starting pitchers do not have the same leash that they have in the regular season. If they get into trouble, you're getting the hook.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've seen that so far in the playoffs. I definitely think that at the end of the day, Houston's winning. I'm rooting for the Rangers because
Mhm.
of Nathaniel
Agreed.
Lowe as well.
And also, I just don't like the Stros.
I
Like,
don't I,
not even about the trash.
I don't even mind this Astros anymore, honestly,
Why?
dude.
They're just too good. I like seeing other teams, dude.
I agree. Well,
I mean, the
yeah.
one other team we've seen is the Rays in the World Series. Actually, that is wild, y'all. Since 2017, we've seen two non-Stros teams make it to the World
Oh,
Series.
the Red Sox in 18. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing they're building there in Houston.
Oh,
And
and the consistency.
and they're still, I mean, they're getting older, but like Jeremy Pena, he'll be there for a bit. And they've got some young studs
Mhm.
in that farm system. The Astros are gonna be like a force to be reckoned
And
with.
I mean, they're even with the trash can stuff. I mean, they're like the model franchise,
It, dude, for sure.
and they have been.
And they're able to keep the success going into the playoffs too, unlike the Dodgers, who we thought was like the franchise, but they can't do anything right now.
Yeah. Moving on
Yeah.
to a sport that
We
has.
have to talk about the NLCS.
Oh yeah.
We're not even in it because like the Braves didn't make it,
Yeah,
so we just don't care.
we don't want to talk about
Diamondbacks in
Philadelphia.
7.
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be the Phillies, dude.
I say Phillies in 7. I mean, that team is just built for the
No, I'd
playoffs.
say Phillies in 6. I don't think it's going to 7.
I can see 7. I'm gonna say 7,
Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen have to pitch the game of their lives, like
and they
in
will.
1 and 2. Oh,
Zach
maybe
Allen. He's disgusting.
Hey, if they learned anything though, don't hang pitches. Keep the ball low because dude, those Phillies hitters are basically all pop.
Mhm.
So if you keep the ball low, because we saw Strider give up 3 home runs, three
Oh,
solo shots in that game 4, two sliders, and then a fastball down the middle. Keep the ball low. Keep
mhm.
it low, all right, because that limits your mistakes. Aim low, because you're not going to miss high as much, and then when you are trying to throw it high above the zone, hit your spots.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, like I
But
pitch,
don't.
it's hard, but that's
Mm.
what they have to do.
But don't be surprised if you see the Diamondbacks in the World Series. This is a good team. You saw them dismantle the Dodgers
I they dismantled the starting pitching. That's what they do. They get on top of you early.
early,
They get early.
and they
They're gonna
mash
get ready to pounce on Aaron Nola and Zach
Zach
Wheeler.
Wheeler.
Yeah,
And
and
Ranger
then Ranger
Suarez is
Suarez
not ready. Ranger Suarez
because
is
he's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a contact pitcher.
yeah.
So I mean,
And with the speed that the Diamondbacks have put together and the base running that they have, I mean they can mash, but at the same time they're really good contact guys.
those guys are gonna hit their spots. We know that. But the Diamondbacks are going to be ready to adjust. This is going to be a great series. I still have the Phillies winning it. Those bats are too good. I don't think Harper sustained any injuries from that. Like, did you see that? What happened with him and Olsen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that'll affect them at all. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna so you say 6 and 6?
I say Phillies in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Diamondbacks take it in 7.
I'm gonna say Phillies in 7.
All right.
Well, they might be throwing it across the diamond in that series, but they've been throwing across the field in the NFL for a month at this point now. So what are your thoughts on the NFL thus far? It's been quite, I mean, I said this a lot, but that's just how sports are. It's been a very interesting beginning to this season.
Yeah, for sure. The Philadelphia Eagles are overrated in my opinion. I know they have.
Whoa.
I mean,
I don't think anyone even thinks they're the best in the NFC.
no, the San Francisco 49ers
Unbelievable.
they are crazy, dude. They honestly, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I know that I don't really know what to think of the Dolphins. I mean, okay, obviously their offense is crazy. Tua's been healthy. He's an MVP candidate. He's probably the MVP front runner at the moment.
I'd say.
Tyreek Hill is continuing to produce for them.
Devin A Chain.
Yeah, I know he's on the injured reserve right now, but
Transcendent.
he's been doing great things. Raheem Mostert has done amazing things. Jalen Waddle is doing what Jalen Waddle does.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is pretty solid.
Yeah, with Jalen Phillips and
I don't know, man. I don't know about the Dolphins.
yeah, they just seem kind of inconsistent and not like really super playoff ready. But at the same time, it seems like a pretty open AFC.
But there's like flashes of brilliance from them because you put up 70 against. To be fair, the Broncos are one of the worst defenses in NFL history this year, according
But
to
70 is 70
stats.
points.
So yeah, 70 is 70, but then they get blown out by Buffalo, man. So I just don't know.
I think inconsistency is probably what's going to get them.
But inconsistency, also the Buffalo Bills, dude.
Exactly. I mean, this AFC looks wide open.
And then Patrick Mahomes doesn't have any wide receivers.
Rashid Rice is nice though. Like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, and by the way, Isaiah Pacheco, by the way, is a really good running back for them.
Yeah. Sorry, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Could not get it done, huh?
Could not get it done.
Could not get it done.
The Colts are having issues with Anthony Richardson.
And it sounds like a season-ending surgery
possibly
might be in the cards as well for him.
Zach Wilson's starting to play good football, which is we haven't seen that yet.
I mean, the Chargers are not great either, especially
Justin Herbert's doing all he can, man. And we've talked about him on this podcast. We love Justin Herbert, but he has like barely any help on that defensive side of the ball, man.
Exactly. And Brandon Staley is an interesting coach at best.
And CJ Stroud has looked really, really good. He threw his first interception today, but still he's looked good.
and then the Jags as well. I mean, just very consistent.
Weird. And then the Ravens are kind of I know they won today, but they can't put up points.
They got off to exactly. They got off to a super good start early on, especially not even putting up extreme amount a lot of points, but then a loss in overtime, and then a loss to the Steelers in Nat Canada. Every single social media post for the Steelers of anything, every single comment like, "Pretty please fire Matt Canada," and I agree. How are you letting the what's it called? The Steelers score double-digit points on you and Matt Canada 0-C?
Yeah, dude, the AFC is just like it's gonna be Bills Dolphins AFC Championship game.
I don't know. I could see a team making a run. Oh, and we'll talk about this team later, or I will. But yeah, definitely another disappointment as well. That's kind of spiced up
Yeah.
the AFC.
And then the back to the NFC, man, the 49ers are just a train right now.
Oh my
Everything is going their way.
gosh.
Christian McCaffrey scored a touchdown like 15 straight games or something like that. He can do it all. He can run it. He can pass it. He can catch it. Um, yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it'll be a duel between Philly. I think it's also going to be down to who can get home field advantage for the playoffs,
Yeah.
because that'll be a big piece as well.
And
But
hopefully Brock Purdy doesn't blow his elbow out.
yeah, definitely, because I want to see a full strength matchup between those two in the playoffs. That's what playoff football is all about. Other than that, though, I mean, like the NFC South looks not good. The NFC North, yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
NFC. I mean, the NFC North, you know, and then the rest of the NFC West. I mean, the NFC West is probably. I mean, they're pretty strong division, but
Yeah, the Rams are
they can't compete.
decent.
I
The Rams
mean,
are decent. The
Seahawks,
Seahawks are decent. The Cardinals are being more competitive than
especially with
we
Josh Dobbs at
expected.
QB. I'm not trying to disrespect Josh Dobbs.
Who? Couldn't get his own
Ten,
shirt from the team store, bro.
Tennessee legend.
Yeah, facts.
So moving on, a little bit more in depth into the NFL. Speaking of like some interesting, disappointing high risers in the NFL, we're gonna be on the more negative side with disappointing teams. We're gonna stick with the NFC and read. Who's your disappointing team of the season?
Dude, it's literally the Minnesota Vikings. They are literally not hitting the Gwitty this year, man.
Keep talking.
Okay, they're so bad, dude. They have the NFL leader in passing touchdowns, in sacks, and in receiving touchdowns, and they're 1-4. Their only win was against the winless Panthers. They can't do anything right now,
But
dude.
this was kind of good. Kind of saw this coming.
But they shouldn't be 1-4. To be fair, all of their games have been one score. And we remember last year they were like insane in those one score games. That's how they made the playoffs. They were like 11-0 in one score games. Now they're like they're 1-4 in one score games. So it's just kind of wild to me how much they're struggling. I knew they wouldn't be as good. Their defense has been lackluster for years now. Especially that Mike Zimmer hasn't been the head coach there for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean that secondary is
Big defensive minded coach, but yeah, their secondary is really bad. But I just expected them to not be 1-4 at the moment, and I know Vikings fans are not happy. I wouldn't be happy either. I don't hate y'all's coach, but there's just nothing.
Especially with such a like poor division. I mean, sorry, the Lions are really good, probably the third best team in the NFC. I forgot to mention them, but like 1-4, come on, guys.
Yeah, and what else was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm so mad that they're like this bad, dude. Justin Jefferson going on the IR is not helping them out at all.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I do like Jordan Addison. I think he can be really. I think he can be good.
Oh yeah, I love Jordan Addison.
And
TJ Hawkinson's good.
Hockey socks.
I think also a bit of a loss in the rank. Like Alexander Madison is not looked good.
KJ Osborne's not terrible either. So
no,
but having Justin Jefferson just elevates you so much, and it also opens up opportunities for those other guys because you have double, triple coverage on Justin Jefferson.
And Addison, just put him in the slot. He can run.
Yeah, he can. So yeah. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna flip it the conference, but keep it up north. I think it's probably an even more disappointing team. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, a team that was so close to back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, and now they're not very close to putting points on the board. And
dude, yeah,
that calf injury seems to be affecting Joe Burrow pretty badly. But 3 points against the Browns. You're losing to the Titans by double digits. What are we doing here, guys?
I don't know, dude.
It is horrific watching this team play football. It is bad.
And Jamar Chase's case is displeasure too. And I know he's not going to leave his guy Joe Burrow, but you still don't want your star wide receiver speaking out like that.
And especially now that Burrow's the highest paid player in NFL history.
he gets like this ridiculous contract that he's deserved it.
Oh, 100%.
And then he just craps the bed.
And he's not young either. I mean, he came into the league at 24. I think he's at what now? 27, 28?
And to be fair, they have never started a season well, but usually they'll go 0-2 and then win 8 straight. They're like 2-3 right now. So
yeah.
they could win their next 6,
turn it around.
Go 9-3, be 9-3 through 12.
But we're not gonna forget about this horrific start
No, definitely not. And that's got to change for them for sure because they can't keep getting out to slow starts like this.
Yeah, keeping it on the negative side of the ball, we're gonna move it to the more academic side of 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 football. It's college football, which is great. We love it so much. But I'm sure these teams aren't loving it too much, especially their fans. Do you want to start us off, Reed?
Yeah, we'll start off with one party school. Um, good broadcasting school. We want to go there. But USC, man, they just lost to Notre Dame last night. They got their butts
Badly.
whooped. Caleb Williams was exposed. I'm not even gonna lie. This is the first time in his collegiate career I feel like he's been exposed, at least at USC. He's still the best quarterback in the nation, in my opinion. And
I'd agree.
this is the issue with college football.
No,
One
actually,
bad
sorry.
game,
Graham Mertz.
one bad game, and his Heisman stock just went. To be fair, I don't know if they give it to him 2 years in a row, but that's like kind of an issue because if Michael Penix has a bad game, his Heisman stock is going to drop dramatically. The USC defense has been an issue now for a while, and so giving up 48 or they gave up like 41 points because one of them was a kick return, and I don't really know how you want to score that. Whatever.
Yeah.
They gave up 40 points to Notre Dame, which isn't a terrible offense. Sam Hartman's definitely a really good
But I mean, like
quarterback.
looking back at a couple, I mean, losing, I mean, a loss to Louisville. I mean, Louisville's good, but they just lost to Pitt, so that loss looks even worse now. And I mean, oh my gosh, that Ohio State game was a tough watch with
Yeah,
how horrendous those offenses looked.
yeah. I mean, this game was won in the trenches by Notre Dame. Audric Estime looked unreal.
And our entire defensive line just manhandled
USC,
USC's.
dude, yeah, it's a different type of ball out there in the Big Ten, I guess, or an independent ball out in Indiana. Oopsie, I
Yeah.
messed
Oh,
myself up.
ACC basketball though.
ACC basketball, yeah. But like you have one of the greatest quarterback prospects ever at the moment, and your defense is consistently giving up 30, 40 points a game. And to be fair, yesterday was his first bad game, but you can't expect him every game
Yeah.
to bail you out and give you 40 to 50
And his
points.
receivers were not helping either.
No, dude. He threw 3 picks in the first half. He cleaned it up in the second, but it was just too little, too late for
Yeah.
him. And I kind of feel bad. He'll be the first overall pick no matter what happens, I feel like. But like they're not making the playoff this year.
Yeah, speaking of a team that needs to clean up their act, it's the Clemson Tigers, a team that came into the season ranked very, very high, and then just a snowball of bad losses. I mean, if you remember that FSU game, which I think kind of was just at the point where their season kind of just died. Um, I mean, they were close, but I mean, kicking wise, it just didn't seem like this is the team of past years, and it seems like complacency might be running right throughout this program. I mean, Dabo has been a historic coach for this team. But I mean, when you're falling to a place
Mhm.
where you're 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, you're the Clemson Tigers and you're 2-2. That Duke team is good. We're not gonna say anything bad about that Duke team. But sorry, 4-2, 4-2. My bad. You're 4-2, and you have two losses this early in the ACC. This is supposed to be the easiest conference in the world, and I get that. This is a much better ACC than in years past. There's a lot more competitive teams, but you're looking at a tough schedule and a solid NC State team, Miami team, which, eesh,
I don't know about them. But then
yeah,
you have to play Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame. You have to
Yeah.
play North Carolina and a scrappy South Carolina team that beat you last year.
Hmm.
And so we'll just have to see how things turn out. And I mean, they barely were able to take down a Wake Forest team without their best player from last year and Sam Hartman. So a team that I was very high on going into the season because I love Cade Klubnik, but their offense just seems bad,
Yeah, it's
and
it's
their
not great.
defense nowadays can't really bail them out.
Yeah, it's just not the same Dabo era, and it's not the same Dabo, and it's the same with Alabama. Not the same Nick Saban team, man.
Change handing of the torches to the next generation, I'd
Yeah,
say.
and it's like I'm I don't even know, dude. Sports like we have a generation that's coming to an end here in like every sport pretty much.
Actually, yeah,
It's really sad.
yeah.
The only sport like
Baseball kind is though.
I was thinking about like hockey. Hockey's not
Oh my
necessarily.
God. Okay. So. Wait, isn't Connor, isn't like Sidney Crosby
Yeah,
and
Sidney
like,
Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin are like the two like oldest guys, but
how old is McDavid?
28 or 29, I think.
Okay. So he's not that old.
And dude, the way he moves, he'll be playing for a long time
Yeah.
because
So,
they can't touch him, dude, because like he's so fast.
yeah.
Have you seen him skate? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, trivia question. Just to expose you because your lack of sports knowledge. How many goals has Austin Matthews scored in the first two games of the NHL season?
5.
6. All
Oh, do you want to expose sports knowledge?
right, let's move on.
No,
Let's
no, no, no,
we're
no, no, no,
moving,
no, 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 no,
we're
no, no,
moving
no, no,
on.
no, no. Name the 2 McLaren drivers for the season in F1.
Leclerc,
Nope.
Verstappen,
Nope.
Hamilton. No, he's
Nope.
Mercedes. All right, move on. We're moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on to your favorite segment, Charlie's grandfather's favorite segment, my
Shout out.
least favorite segment because I have to do all of these research. It's the team to spotlight. So Charlie, you can go ahead and take her away.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to start us off. A team. I mean, I was having trouble thinking of a team that interested me, but at the same time wasn't like super well known. I was thinking about doing the 2000 Jailblazers. I was thinking about doing the 92 to 95 Mavs, but their team just wasn't good. There was just a lot of drama. But I'm going to do the 99 Knicks. In a strike shortened season, they were the first ever 8 seed to not only win the first, or sorry, the 94 Nuggets won against the 1 seed. They were the first ever to do it, but they were the first team to win. Okay. They were the first 8 seed to make it all the way to the finals, and they lost, just like the Heat of this past season. Now, speaking of the Heat, this 27 and 24 Knicks team ran into the Heat in the first round. And if you know anything about this team, you probably know about the Allen Houston buzzer beating game 5 game winner to seal the series.
Oh,
Allen Houston. We'll get back to him shortly. But a little bit more on this team. Their defensive anchor. I know this team was very big man centric near the end of that like '90s, very rough era. Was a young Marcus Camby who had gone to win a what's it called? A defensive player of the year. He was an all rookie his first year in 96, 97. He's a really good defensive player with 1 steal. He averaged 1 steal and 2 blocks that season. The leading scorer, a bit of a surprise, it's Patrick Ewing, the 36-year
oh
old
wow.
international, was averaging
Where is he
17.3
from?
points. Not Nigeria, because that's where he came from. I forget. It's like I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Gotcha.
Larry Johnson and Kurt Thomas, some big veteran big men, were a couple of their key pieces to that squad. Heading or leading the ship was Jeff Van Gundy, a dude on the hot seat, and he would be gone not soon after, because just 2 years later, after two more not great playoff runs, they nosedived. Latrell Sprewell was probably the guard that they relied on the most.
Did you say Jeff Van Gundy? Who'd you say?
Jeff Van Gundy, he's a broadcaster now.
He just took a role with the Celtics in their front office now.
Oh,
Actually.
good. I hated him in the booth.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. So yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Latrell Sprewell. I mean, he kind of choked away some moments there in that playoffs, including George Karl early in his career, and he also choked away his career afterwards. Yeah, but I mean, in the way he was playing, it was like he was like choking defenders. Um, and then Allen Houston, interesting contract after these couple of years. He was 27 in this season, and he was their second leading scorer, averaging around 16 points a game. And he was a clutch dude, and he was a big factor helping this team make it all the way to the finals until they lost, unfortunately, to a Tim Duncan-led Spurs team.
Yeah.
So an interesting,
Go you.
an interesting team to look at that I think has been kind of lost to history. How about you take it away, Reed?
All right, so my team couldn't even make it to the finals. They made it to their league finals, and then
Blew it.
well, the 2003 Chicago Cubs. Just take a moment. Do you know anything about the 2003 Chicago Cubs?
Steve Hartman.
Steve Bartman. All right, so they went 88 and 74, and they won the NL Central because that's usually what it takes to win the NL Central. Good pitching, not a great offense.
Yeah.
Not a ton of wins. Oh well. Dusty Baker was their manager. We all love Dusty Baker.
We do love Dusty Baker.
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. They beat the Braves in 5 games in the NLDS.
Yeah, I mean that's vintage Braves right there.
Dude, that's gonna be the current Braves now, bro.
Yeah, we're regressing. It's
Dude,
not
we are
looking too good.
so bad. And then they lost to the Miami Marlins in 7 in the NLCS.
Josh Beckett and Juan Pierre just like that, I guess. You know?
Just like that. And then we know that Marlins won the World Series that year. But Steve Bartman reaches over for a foul ball. Would have been the last out of the 8th inning, I believe. when the
I don't know if it would have. It might have been the last.
I think it was like I think it was 2 outs in the eighth,
Yeah,
and they were
but
winning.
no excuses, guys, because
You gave up like a ton of runs after that, dude.
and it was. I mean, it was a mix of Dusty Baker and errors. A lot of errors.
Yeah, but let's go to the notable players, and I'll come back to Steve Bartman. Moises Alou was probably their best overall player. Sammy Sosa had very similar stats, but I'm gonna highlight Moises Alou, a name you've maybe heard of, but not nearly as much as Sammy Sosa. He also didn't turn himself into like a different skin color or something like
Michael
that.
Jackson.
So Moises Alou was in his age 36 season. He played 151 games. He had close to 100 RBIs, only had 91. He hit 280, which was like the second highest batting average on the team, behind Corey Patterson. Do you
That's
know?
quite a name.
Yeah, that is quite a name. He had like over 150 hits that season, which was also like first or second on the team. He had an 819 OPS, which was just behind Corey Patterson and Sammy Sosa. Like I said before, Sammy Sosa was also a key player for that team. He brought the juice injected.
Thank you.
And then you guys have all heard of Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game.
Which I think he did against Moises Alou, and the Stros. I think Alou was on that team.
I think he was. I think you're right about that. But I want to highlight Mark Pryor, who is now, I believe, the Dodgers pitching coach.
Sounds right.
He had a 2.43 ERA, 245 strikeouts, and a 179 ERA plus.
A short but strong prime for that kid.
For sure. I know I'm asking you this on the spot. Do you understand ERA plus?
It's like
Can you explain it to them?
OPS or WRC. So if you don't know, it's like an advanced stat. OPS and WRC plus are on base percentage, or pretty much anything that has plus afterwards means 100 is average. So anything above 100 is good, everything below 100 is bad, and it kind of just puts everyone in an even playing
An
field.
even playing field,
So you
yeah.
can compare Buttercup Dickerson to Garrett Hampson. So that's
to Malik Smith.
yes
To Malik Smith.
No, oh yeah, Malik Smith. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or Keon Broxton.
Or Terrence Gore.
Or Jared Dyson.
Or Jared Saltalamacchia.
Or or sorry, Devin Mesoraco.
Or Anthony DeSclafani. Oh wait, that's a pitcher.
Yeah. But
I do like looking at OPS plus because 100 is the average. It makes it very visually appealing and easy to look at if this guy's doing well or if he's not doing well. So yeah, so Steve Bartman was like forced into hiding and stuff for many years.
Exactly.
And you feel bad for the guy. And then they won the World Series in 2016.
And I think he got a ring.
They probably did give him a ring. He's still hiding though. He has social anxieties because they're still going to kill him for that. So yeah, and I know we've been really Debbie Downer this episode. We're almost done, but
we're gonna keep it on that.
We still have one more segment. Low light of the week, Charlie. Take it away.
This past weekend was the Qatar Grand Prix, and boy oh boy, was that a mess. Now, if you're a McLaren fan, it was great because 2-3 on the podium. And we won the sprint with
what was their names?
Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris.
Yeah, I'm not naming those two.
Okay, do you want to? What about the 2 Ferrari drivers?
Verstappen.
Nope.
Leclerc.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of Verstappen, he actually won the F1 title.
Max Verstappen.
He actually won the F1 title in the sprint on Saturday. It was quite a mess, though. It was killer hot. They were puking in their cars. Multiple drivers had to tap out at least one. I think multiple, though, had to tap out because of heat exhaustion. I mean, Carlos Sainz's start was having technical difficulties, and I'm pretty sure they were attributed by the heat. Where
was it? You said
Qatar. It was a horrific Grand Prix, and if you thought Singapore was hot, it was much worse in Qatar. So, quite the start. But hey, we're moving to the USA next weekend. We're at Austin. It's gonna be probably not great because that circuit's just okay.
Wait, Austin, Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They raced there.
That's cool.
Do you want to do your little?
Yeah. So I was gonna say the Dodgers, but that's so basic, and then I just remembered like 4 minutes ago. But what happened between Georgia Tech and Miami?
Mario Cristobal.
Dude,
I don't know if it's all his fault.
You have to just kneel the football and you win that game, but you decide to run the ball, you fumble, and then Georgia Tech goes down and scores and you lose the game.
Unbelievable. That's one way to lose the locker room. I don't think it ever expect.
Like that made me so upset. And I don't even know, dude. That's like about as low as it can get.
Yeah.
That's a bad beat right there.
Oh,
That
100%.
that is an all-time bad beat.
It is an all-time bad beat.
Dude, Stanford Steve is all over that on Scott on late on Sports Center at night with Scott Van Pelt, dude. That's unreal.
Yeah.
But we can finally
upwards
we
in
can
the
finally
world.
stop being so darn mad.
Well, unless you're an Oregon fan.
Unless you are an Oregon fan.
Highlight of the week is the Oregon-Washington game. That's where they had game day, and it was a good game.
It was a very good game.
It was an incredibly good game.
I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't watch a whole lot of it because Gators were on at the same time. And by the way, Graham Mertz to Ricky Pearsall's a more secure connection than your internet.
Mine? Or are you just saying that?
No, to everyone.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I mean that was a killer game. That is Michael Penix's like that is like if he's gonna win the Heisman, that's his Heisman game. His Heisman moment is that final drive to win that game for them. That was a spectacular game in a beautiful stadium in a beautiful state. And
I love that place.
I'm gonna say it, Pac-12 is the best, second best conference in the country.
Yeah,
top to bottom.
It just sucks that's not going to exist.
Yeah, it sucks, but I mean these teams are really good, and we need to cherish them while we have them.
Yeah, so I'm pretty ticked off at sports this week. The Patriots got whooped. The Cardinals didn't play.
We're not getting
because of
positive,
playoffs.
folks.
So my highlight of the week was my homecoming.
I wish I could say the same.
Shout out to you all out there that made my homecoming so special. Not gonna name drop, but yeah, that's all I have to say because this week in sports was brutal, and I have never not.
Hey, this week was bad for me too.
Why was it bad for you?
I lost my AirPod.
Oh yeah, he did lose his AirPod, and I had like a bunch of dude. This week was bad.
Ugh.
This week was brutal.
It was so bad. Sports, school, home life, taking my AirPod.
Homecoming, like that was good.
Homecoming was mid for me.
It's good for me.
It was boring. Anyways, this has been the NextGen Playbook podcast with our beautiful brand new setup. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back again soon. Bye.
Adios.